Like clockwork, like most of our military adventures post-World War II, Ukraine is turning into a massive money laundering scheme. I've taken some flack over the past almost 2 years now when it comes to Ukraine and my position on my Ukraine and it being one of skepticism. I don't trust our government as far as we can throw it, especially when it comes to matters of conflicts, wars, interventions, you name it. Why would I? Why would anybody at this point in time? I mean, you go back to Dwight Eisenhower warning us about fearing the military-industrial complex, and he was right. He was right. Again, one of the most popular presidents ever, and no one listened to him. We're at a point in time again, get both media outlets, get the left and right, because that's what we have here in this country, or the one or the other. Basically, yay, cheering on the entire thing. Cheering on the entire endeavor. And again, if you ask any questions about what's going on, you ask any questions when it comes to the money that we're spending in Ukraine, you get poo-pooed. And somehow you're against freedom and democracy and you don't like the Ukrainian people. Well, I mean, I want what's best for the Ukrainian people, and I think the Ukrainian people are being used. I think they're being used, and I think, at some point in time, they're going to end up getting abandoned in some way, shape, matter, or form, just like we abandoned the people in Afghanistan. But we shouldn't have been in Afghanistan, should we? And people, I'm sorry. You are what your record says you are. We constantly tell ourselves how wonderful and how great we are when it comes to our military. And yeah, we might have the most capable military on the entire planet, but we obviously don't have the most capable people running the military or being directed by the most competent people in Washington, D.C. It's, we're racking up. We're racking up the losses, my friends. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. Vietnam, okay, Korea, a tie. Oh, yes, we got, Operation Desert Storm, which accomplished what? Yay, we got Saddam out of Qatar. Fantastic. Then you get the whole war on terror. What was that, about $8 trillion? I don't know, give or take. $8 trillion going to what? Going away. Taliban's back in charge. We're out. Taliban's back in charge. We got rid of Al Qaeda in no time. Why the hell did we have to stay in Afghanistan? But anyway, I'll tell you why. Money. Hey, that $8 billion that you and I and our fellow taxpayers spent, went into somebody's pocket. Did it not? Oh, tons of contracts being handed out here, there, and everywhere. And that's what war has become. It's become one big money laundering operation. It is what it is. I hate to, to be so like such a Debbie Downer, but people, can you argue with me on this point? I mean, let's take a look at, the Ukraine. Again, I know a lot of people have got the Ukrainian flags up. You got members of Congress wearing a flag on their lapel. They're down for the struggle. People up on their social media pages. And hey, listen, I understand. I understand. I mean, they're in a bad situation. And we went over this, again, about a year and a half ago when this whole thing started. And some of the things that led up to this conflict that could have been prevented. Could have been dealt with. But again, we brushed that aside. Some of the latest interesting stories out of the Ukraine. We talk about the money laundering operation. New York Times actually piece out about face that big mass casualty event, that strike on the market. It wasn't Russia who did it. It was Ukraine that did it. They had to do a complete about face and change on it. And what is with this American transgender spokesperson for the Ukrainian military that is threatening to go out and basically kill anybody who disagrees with their narrative over there because it's Russia disinformation. You can't make this stuff up. J.D. Vance was asking questions. Again, it's funny, he was being interviewed. Again, you watch these videos, it's like a Saturday Night Live parody. It's almost unbelievable. It is unbelievable, but it's real. You couldn't make this stuff up. There's an American transgender spokesperson for the Ukrainian. Anyway, last night, Poland, they basically said no more weapons, no mas. They said enough's enough. They've been, fighting, arguing with Ukraine in regards to agricultural, we call dumping, if you will. Ukraine is basically offloading a lot of their grain shipments, agricultural shipments in places in Eastern Europe. Now, remember, Ukraine is not a member of the European Union. The price is undercutting all of the existing businesses, farmers that are. The farmers are upset about this. Polish government warned them, you have to stop doing this. The Hungarian government says no more. Poland basically said, hey, listen, this is it. There's no more guns. There's no more weapons. We're getting out of this here right now. We support the Ukrainian people. We've taken in the refugees, but we've got to rearm ourselves here. And I think we talked about this on the podcast. Poland's going to actually have the largest military in Europe within the next couple of years. The largest military, and it's not going to even be close. So they're arming up, and this is a big about face. And I think you're going to start seeing more of this from Hungary and some other places there. I do think you're going to find some pushback here in Washington, D.C. Until, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if you're going to convince them. You get the rah-rahs in. There's some Republicans that are pushing back on all of this money. What we've already spent, $100 billion over there. But now they're going to see some real money being made into Ukraine. I don't know if they've wrecked enough of it yet. I mean, maybe they should just wreck. They got to maybe wreck some more of the Ukraine because, you got to rebuild it. Right? Got to rebuild it. Oh, boy. Again, that big money right there. Actually reminded me of the movie Margin Call, which was kind of about the financial crisis. And Jeremy Irons playing a leader of a big investment bank that pulled out in the beginning and said, hey, listen, it's going to be a big mess. But there's a lot of money to be made cleaning up that mess. And there's a lot of money to be made cleaning up Ukraine. Contracts, you name it. And guess what? Yeah. Oh, boy. Joe Biden just talked about authorizing $25 billion to go to the World Bank. And guess where the World Bank wants to send the money to? World Bank's not going to just send the money to Ukraine. They're going to send it. Guess what's back? Back from the dead. Oh, yeah, they're in New York right now. The Clinton Global Initiative. No, you couldn't make this stuff up if you wanted to. They're back. The Clintons are back. The whole Clinton Global Initiative, that money laundering operation, got shut down after Hillary lost to Donald Trump. They didn't have the influence anymore, but they're back. It's like some sort of slasher film. Jason Voorhees, the Clinton Global, they're back. And they're raising money, and their World Bank is going to give them money. And guess what? The Clintons and their cronies are going to get paid. And I do have to give credit to Jesse Waters over at Fox News, who's also covering this story too. Nobody else even looking into this. And I'll remind everybody, you see the country of Haiti and you see what's going on there and how messed up that country is. And if you remember, they had a massive earthquake in 2010 that killed over 200,000 people. And again, here we come to save the day. Clinton Global Initiative comes in there. And the state, Barack Obama's president, Hillary Clinton, the State Department, tells, Haiti, hey, listen, you're going to have to, made Haiti lower their minimum wage. So, again, you had U.S. clothing manufacturers there able to make more money. That was actually used in the Daniel Craig James Bond movie, Quantum of Solace. They actually talked about that in there, suppressing the minimum wage to benefit these clothing companies. Anyway, it was all the donors, okay? You donate to the Clinton Global Initiative, you give them money, you get the government contracts to clean up. The money flows through you. Oh, there's a myriad of different things that took place. Bill Clinton intervening in the jail sentence of Laura Silsby, convicted child trafficker who attempted to smuggle 33 children out of Haiti. Magically, one of the people that was set to expose the Clintons and all the graft that was taking place. You can't get a life insurance policy if you work with the Clintons. Ended up shooting himself in the head a week before he was able to testify. Right. Again, you go on and on. Haiti's former Senate president said Hillary Clinton tried to bribe me. Now you got the Ukraine. And the Clintons are starting up their Ukraine Action Network. And boy, oh boy, they're meeting in New York right now. At the same time, you had, the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen was there. Oh, yeah. You had the Pope. Well, Pope kicked it off with a speech. You had Matt Damon, all these others, basically getting people to line up to line the Clintons' pockets. But that's okay. It's okay. Like I said, you donate money. This is the big club, and this is how it works. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Again, people are going to become billionaires on the backs of we, the people, the U.S. taxpayer, supposedly trying to fix the Ukraine. Okay. You think you're going to see anything? Ukraine's got the lowest per capita, lowest per capita GDP in Europe. Lowest. Yeah, I got all these natural resources. Got lowest, this was even prior to Russia invading. How is that possible? How is it possible that they have a lower per capita GDP than Kosovo? Corruption. For crying out loud. Have you seen all of the people that Zelensky just fired? Look, this is all in a show to make, we're cleaning up the mess over here. We're cleaning up the corruption over here. What a load of crap. And did you actually listen to his stupid speech? I'm sorry. The guy's a clown. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. Okay. His stupid speech in front of the UN, he's talking about climate change and countries being the countries that are disappearing underwater and all this crap. Trying to pull on the heartstrings, trying to convince people there that he's down for the climate struggle. He's basically going to be the next Davos man. So send him more money. Nah. Sorry. This is Europe's problem now. That's that. Again, if I was, I don't care. I'd come out. Well, you got to get some of these candidates out there on the Republican side. That and again, this is where I completely disagree with Nikki Haley. Say, you know what? Enough. This is Europe's problem. We've sent enough money. We've got problems here in the United States, and Poland's our neighbor, and they're pulling out. Let Germany front the bill. Let France front the bill. But again, the scary thing is, and this is what you need to pay attention to, people. There's somebody, and again, if you're smart, every single time you get all the media outlets out there not asking questions, falling in line behind the next war, the next conflict, the next thing we have got to spend money on as taxpayer. That's when you need to be scared. You know what scares me? Consensus. When I see consensus, when I hear consensus, I think that people aren't thinking. I'm once bit, twice shy, for crying out loud. And again, I wish America would wake up. I know how the media works. They can pull on your heart, and I'm not saying that the situation in there terrible for the Ukrainian people, but you still think you still think that they're gonna? I'm sorry, I said from the get-go. You think that they're gonna win against Russia? No, I don't think that they're gonna win against. I'm sorry. I don't. And then we're told right now, this is the most interesting thing. We're told right now that there's no negotiating. No negotiating at all out of this situation. You can't negotiate with the Russians. You can't. So guess what? We're basically saying, you know what? The Ukrainians, you guys have got to fight to the death. We're not going to negotiate this at all. Is that smart? Anyway, WatchDog on WallStreet.com.